Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon on the East Coast, morning everywhere else. How's everybody doing this Monday Mastermind?
Doing
Glad
great.
to have everybody here. We've got quite a few of our leaders are down in Dallas, Texas today. Some of the big wigs get together and talk about what's going on in the industry and the leading stuff. I would have been down there, but Kim and I, since we have teenage kids, we have to swap out households. So she goes when I'm at home with the teenage kids, and then I'll go when she's at home. So that's the joy of having kids going through high school. But welcome to Monday Mastermind. And we've got a great topic here today that I'm excited about because I have a lot of people asking about this. Even our staff has helped a lot of people to do this topic with Google reviews and Google My Business and how to use Google to get direct inbound leads. But before we get started on that, our site is whygrowglobal.com. Go to whygrowglobal.com and you can see all of the events coming up. You can go down to the bottom and click on our YouTube page. You can see our recordings of our past Monday Masterminds, and we have lots of resources there to help you to grow your real estate business no matter where you are. But I'm excited about this topic, especially because of the guy that's going to be sharing this with you, Mr. Tony Williams. He and I knew each other way back in the RE/MAX days. We were both RE/MAX broker owners back in the day. And so, of course, we're changed now. We're in different programs, the same program, different company. And we love helping people to grow and build their business. He has always been cutting edge technology, even way back in the day before broker owners were very tech savvy. He's always been ahead of the game on that. So it does not surprise me that he's got the Google My Business and Google pages and stuff nailed down. So we're excited to hear from Tony Williams and how he's getting tons of business from his Google pages. So Tony, tell us what you found out in this Google stuff. You don't just know about it, you're experiencing it direct, right?
Yeah, we really are. I mean, I'll tell you, it's been a massive change for us over the past 3 months. We are kicking into probably 60% of our business now comes to us through Google. And
Really?
what I'd like to do today is kind of give you a step by step. And I've got someone here that's going to help me along with this as well. But just to kind of give you an idea of what's happened in these 3 months, we went from 52, and then this morning I looked at it. We're at 107 5-star Google reviews right now. The first month, the very first deal that came through was a call from Orlando, Florida, a guy moving to Atlanta. And that was a $14,000 commission. And I just asked him, I said, how'd you find us? And he says, man, you guys own Google. He says, your Google reviews are just incredible. And he says, I'm really looking forward to meeting you and your team, your wife. And we were able to do that one. And he's even called me to say he's going to send me more business up this way. So he was part of that. And since then, we've had several closings. Pam, my wife, is on the call, but she's out with clients right now, meeting clients, opening some doors up for some people who've come in. But, you know, it's amazing when someone calls you and you hear in your ear Google call, and then all of a sudden, you know, they say, hey, we want to sell our home, or we're looking to purchase in your area. The good thing about Google calls is you're not paying a referral fee for them. This caught my eye when I saw an ad that says, you know, don't pay for Zillow, take a look at Google and what it can do for you. So we started clicking into the system. The very first thing we did is ask, how do we get Google reviews? Last year, I went to a meeting, and I think that Rob was there, and a group of agents made some serious mistakes trying to get reviews. What they did is, about 150 agents were in a room, and they said, hey, let's just do this. Let's create a list and start a rotation and start giving each other reviews. And then what ends up happening is we all signed up for it. We all started giving each other reviews. We made the mistake of using our company email, okay, just thinking that everybody'd want to see it. And then all of a sudden, these agents started connecting back and forth and said, "Hey, my Google reviews are being taken down. What's going on?" Well, in the presentation, we did it all the wrong ways. And in the presentation, though, we were told how valuable Google reviews and other reviews are to get, clients. So Pam and I just started researching, and then all of a sudden this thing jumped up and said, "Take a look at this." Everybody uses Google. Like 95 to 99% of the people that are out there, they're using Google when they do a search. So what I wanted to do is get to a point where I didn't pay for ads, but what I wanted to do was get to the place where I was a lot more organic. And I thought in the beginning what I could do was study this and figure out how to do it myself. And I started working on my Google business page and doing some things. And Rob has given me the ability to share my screen. So what I want to do, first of all, is take you directly to my Google business page and show you what they are looking for. Let me see if I can get to that real quick and make that happen, Rob. We'll see what happens here. All right. So where I am right now is I'm in my ads for Google, and it's just ads.google.com/local services. And I can go over here up in the top left. Hopefully everybody can see this, and click on business verification. And in a business verification, it shows me the things that I need to be doing. And so you'll notice here, I needed to set up my billing information, my proof of insurance. That was the most difficult thing to do, because finally I figured out that they were looking for my E&O insurance. I put up my homeowner's insurance, I put up my umbrella insurance, nothing worked. Then finally I figured out through some help of a friend that you'll meet here in a minute that they were looking for my E&O. I finished my business profile, I went through, and then all of a sudden the customer review started. I set up my budget for what I wanted to do. Should I get any calls? Now notice I'm not saying I'm setting up my budget for ads, but for what I wanted to do to get calls. And then I went on through and did my headshot and things like that. Uploaded my the qualifications for real estate agents, and then also my business license. I uploaded that as well. So it took just a little while to get through these things, but finally I got to the point where I was what they call Google screened. Okay, Google screened. Then as I click on this, show you a little bit further, I'll just jump down to profile and budget. I started talking to my business coach, and who you'll meet here in just a second. I said, how should I set this up? And in my budget, I just said, look, I'll bid up to $150 for a good call, and my average weekly budget would be $325. Now notice what's happened. I've received 4 good leads in the past 7 days. 4 good leads in the past 7 days. So what that means is that I have the ability, whenever a call comes in, to accept it or archive it or reject it. And the other thing is in my Google business strategy, I can tell Google what type of lead I'm looking for. For instance, if someone calls me and they're looking for rentals, I don't pay for it. Now, I pay anywhere from about $40 to about $120 for a good call, good solid call. And that's people that we are meeting at homes, listing their homes, the whole thing. So since we've been doing this, I was telling Rob a few minutes ago that we've had to go out and buy new signs because we ran out of signs. We started getting listings and we ran out of signs and had to go buy new signs. So it was just a matter of setting that budget up properly to prove to you. Now, don't call these people, okay? But to prove to you this is really happening, if I click on leads, you'll be able to see right there where I'm charged for some leads. some leads I'm credited because we found out it was not a good lead, and sometimes I'm not charged. Okay, so I have full control of how, of who I pay, or should I pay for a lead that comes in. The other thing that I wanted to share with you was my business page itself. Okay, so let me see if I can get back to the business page itself. Hopefully, I can figure out how to do this. And that's not it. Hold on one second. Get back to my business page itself. Let's see here. I might be able to just click on it straight from where I was. Let's see. So if I go to my business page, can you see this? Can you see
Yes.
where Google in the top left corner?
Yep.
And this is my business page. So to prove to you about the reviews, if I hit read reviews, I can see right off the bat there's 107 reviews here, and you can see all the reviews that are coming in. Now, what I do is, as these reviews are coming in, I'm quick to respond, and then the program that I use uses AI, and it uses the appropriate response so my reviews will move me up higher in Google. So it's important to understand that. So when we get a call through Google like this, we can accept it or reject it, and we don't pay referral fees. We only pay for a call if it's a good call. And the big thing is on this, and I want to jump over to do this here in just a second. Let me see if I can stop my sharing. But Rob, if you can make sure that Bulletproof has the ability to share their screen, I would appreciate it, because what I want to do is bring Nathan on. But
Okay.
in all this, what I was trying to do after I left the meeting there in Gatlinburg is I was trying to figure out how to do this myself, and it's overwhelming to try to figure out how to do it yourself. So what I ended up doing was starting up with a process of someone else coaching me on how to do this. And then the one thing that I also do is I never sign up for anything unless I can check references. So I asked these guys, I said, I want to check references, and I want more than a first name. Okay. In other words, I don't want someone that you already lined up for me to call. I want to, first of all, call someone within the company that I work with and see how they're doing. Well, we're a husband and wife team. Pam and I are, and so they linked me up with a couple in, I think it was in Austin, Texas. And I called them up and I said, how's this working for you? And they do about 75 transactions a year, 75 closings a year. And I said, out of that 75, how many are coming from your Google business? And they said, we're approaching 65% of the 75 are coming from Google business. So then I asked him, I said, what program? Because they have 3 different programs that you can choose from. I said, what program? So they recommended a certain program in the deal. And I said, how hard was it to do this? And they said, man, if you'll just take a little bit of time every week and work on this. One of the things that they do is they have a 10-day YouTube challenge. And I started working on that right away. And those YouTube videos started feeding over to my new website. And they said, if you'll just kind of do the homework when you can, you're going to see this thing happen. And then all of a sudden we got that call from Orlando, and then one thing led after that. So Rob, if you would, I want to introduce to you a good buddy that's been helping along. His name is Nathan Long, and Nathan has been helping realtors figure this thing out. And so I've asked Nathan if he would. I asked if we could have him on here today. And so Nathan is here today. Nathan, just tell us a little bit more about it, if you would, and you'll be able to share your screen as well.
Perfect. I appreciate it, Tony. I don't know that I could ask for a better intro than that. So thanks for having me on here, Tony. Thanks, Rob, for giving me the opportunity. I guess before I go, how much time do I have?
We're on for a
Yeah,
solid hour.
yeah, so you got plenty
You
of
got
time.
Okay.
45 minutes.
Just
Okay.
educate the agents.
Okay, perfect. I didn't want to start talking for 20 minutes and you're like, I had 2 minutes for you. So,
Nope, you're good.
perfect. All right, let me see if I can share my screen here. And I'll just go through a few things. Um, Really, I'll go through the important stuff here. So you can see my screen that says welcome, right? All right, let me make
Yes.
that a little bigger. All right. So the Tony hit on several things during that, which is, again, I don't think I could have had a better introduction on that. But this is something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to increasing their business. And we hear from Tony, we hear from a lot of our clients that, the amount of business that they're getting from this is really, really adding up. Like Tony's not the only client of mine that I hear 50 to 70% of their business is now coming from Google. So this is something that is incredibly important, especially in the day and age that we're in. And I'm going to go into it here in a little bit about why that is. But basically, you can thank Jeff Bezos for this, is that everybody is now used to looking at reviews, reading the reviews, researching people. And I'll kind of go through a few of those things throughout the course of this. But, I have clients of mine that, they say that they've been in this business for 20 years. They've only done referrals and things like that. And then they call me and say, look, my business is gone. Like nobody's calling me anymore because when they research me, I don't have a presence. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing. And that's one of the things that we strive to solve for you. And as Tony said, I can explain to you how to do all of this stuff, but the nuts and bolts of it is, to be honest with you, you're not going to do it. Okay. And that's as honest as I can be about it. You have more important things to do, right? You want to answer the phone, you want to go and you want to sell houses. So we take care of the stuff that you guys don't want to do. So that's what we do here at my company. And we really, really focus on your online presence because, as Tony said, as you go through, about 90% of the people that are out there searching are searching on Google to start. Okay. Now there's other things like Bing, Yahoo, Siri, Alexa, Apple Maps, and Chat GPT's coming. We're taking care of all of that for you. Okay. So I'm going to go through some things at a very high level so you guys understand kind of what we do and the importance behind it. But I guess just to start who we are an award-winning software company. It's called Bulletproof Real Estate Agent. I'm one of the co-founders here. There's three of us. If you guys start going around our website and join bulletproof.com, I'm the one that's going to be in the cowboy hat. Okay, so that's me. We got Chad Crenshaw here. This is us sponsoring the Tom Ferry event. But the big thing that, as Tony was talking about, I like to be conservative with my numbers. Tony was about 95% of people start with Google. The research generally says about 90%. So he was still really close. And I think it's even more than that. But that's where everybody starts their search. When they're looking for your types of services, they are starting at Google. Google's the baddest guy on the street. That's where everybody knows about. Everybody uses it. One of our things that we like to say is like, who do you know that uses Google? And the answer is everybody. So everybody uses it. So we want to make sure we're covering our basis there. And half of those people are looking for that local service. Okay. We want to make sure that we are giving them what they want. So this is what we want to do when they're searching for that realtor in Atlanta or in Marietta or in Fort Worth, Texas, or Palm Gardens, Florida, doesn't matter. They are looking for those people that Google is telling them to use. If they don't already have that, this is what we want to do is we want to make you the clear choice of realtor for your area. So this section here is the map section. Most people are familiar with it because if you're in your house and you're looking for a pizza joint, it's the map section that populates with the three businesses next to it. This is our end goal of where to get your business. It is our holy grail. This is where the relevance comes into play. When you get here, people see that your business is a legitimate thing, but also that Google is telling people you are the best in town. So that's what we want to do. We want to get you here as these three names, just to throw some stats at you, these three names equate to 50% of all of Google's clicks. So we want to get your name here as we get your business to the top section. So if I click on more businesses, it actually shows you the top 20. This is technically the first page of Google. So even if there's 10,000 agents in Atlanta, only the top 20 populate here. This is where the competitive advantage starts to come into play. We've got to get your business here before we drive it to that top 3, because this is where phone calls start. This is where relevancy starts. This is where that competitive advantage comes into play. Because to be honest with you, as honest as I can say it, they start burying the bodies on page 2. Nobody gets there. Nobody gets to page 2 of Google. They're not getting past all 20 of these people before they make a phone call. So when it comes to things like that, everybody needs a coach on how to get there. I'm going to skip through the testimonials because Tony just gave me an unbelievable one, so I don't need to show those. But what we want to do is help our clients not only rank, but increase their business, right? If I help you rank and you don't increase your business, we're wasting our time. Okay. So we want to do that. And basically what we did is we created our program by giving Google exactly what it wants. Okay. So the testimonials of people saying that made a couple extra $100,000, they're all great. But the key behind it all is the system that's in place. Okay. You either work for a system or a system works for you. What we have done is gone out and created a system that works for you that requires very minimal effort. Okay. So everything that I'm about to talk about, as Tony said, you can do. Okay. You can go out and try to do this. No problem there. You can take everything that I say and implement it into your business. The question is, are you going to do it? Are you going to spend the 2 hours a day that it takes to do this? The answer is probably not. Okay. So what we did is we went out and created a system based off of what Google tells us to do, and we put that into an action plan for you. So these here are the top 5 keys when it comes to Google and them rewarding your business. Okay. And I'm going to talk about each one of these quickly. So it's the optimization of your Google business profile. It's having online listings for your business. I think we should probably change the name of that because you guys always think of houses. This is basically an online foundation for your business. So what we do is we go out and create profiles for you all across the internet. Again, I'll go into it. The next one is posting and photos to your account, a good website. And then the last one is review strategy, which is part of the conversation for today. You got to get reviews. Okay. So as we go through this, the optimization of your profile, again, we do this for you. We touch absolutely every section of your profile. So this is something that Google's algorithm is looking for and making sure you're giving it what it wants. So for our clients, we touch every section of your profile. Like if you look at Tony's profile that he showed a little while ago, it's very detailed, lots of information. You know, it's got products and services, it's got frequently asked questions, it's got posts going to it, social media links. If you look at a lot of realtors profiles, it's bare bones, right? It looks like you created it in 5 minutes and then you stop doing with it. And that's what most people do, right? I got to have a presence. That's not the only thing we got to do. We got to be visible. So we touch every section of this, make sure it's optimized and ready for Google's algorithm. These are great ways to feed it. Okay. So we give you products and services. It's great ways to hit keywords, hitting all of the SEO, if you guys know what that means. If you don't, search engine optimization. Okay. So we want to make sure we're constantly feeding it relevant information. So we take care of that. We completely optimize the channel, make sure it's ready for Google's algorithm. The second section is the online listings. So again, this is what I was talking about, that foundation we create for you. This is probably the one section that everybody forgets about that we do for them because it's pretty much behind the scenes and you don't do much there. But we go out and we create profiles for you all across the internet. Okay, so we do it on over 50 platforms, you know, Bing, Yahoo, Siri, Alexa, Apple Maps, Nextdoor, Yellow Pages, all of those places. We create detailed profiles for you. We take information that you give us, we create those profiles, we geotag everything for your location just to make sure we're giving Google absolutely everything. The next section is posts and photos. Okay, so posts are things that we do for you. Again, everything I'm talking about is stuff we do for you. So the posts we do for you. So these are little mini blogs that go to your Google business profile that constantly hit relevant keywords. Okay, the main ones: realtor, real estate agent, real estate professional, Atlanta, Marietta, you know, your location and things like that, but also buying or selling a home, you know, things like that, phrases that people are typing in, we want to be relevant for them. So for our clients, we do it a lot. Okay. Most people might do this once a week or a couple times a month. It's not enough. Other companies that are out there, they're going to put out stuff about interest rates. It does nothing for you. Okay. We want to hit those relevant keywords. So these are things that we're doing for you. So when you first sign up with us, you know, you're going to get one every other day. After a couple of weeks, you start getting one a day. After a couple of weeks, you start getting multiple. So like for most of our clients, we're posting a couple hundred times a month for them at this point. Okay. So we want to make sure we're constantly feeding that data eating machine that is Google. Okay. We're always giving it relevant content. So again, things that you can do. It's just, are you going to do it? Okay. So these are things that you can do. The next section, which I don't have a slide in this one, it's things that I cannot physically do for you. So Rob, where are you located?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so I don't live in Atlanta. Okay, I live in Fort Worth, Texas. So I cannot go to Atlanta, take a picture with your phone and upload it to your business through Google Maps. I can't do that for you. But since I can't do it for you, I'm going to teach you how to do it. Okay, the first time you do it, it's going to take you 3 minutes because it's kind of clunky. Okay, after that, it's going to take you a minute, maybe 45 seconds. Okay, you take a photo, you post the description, you post it, it's done. The reason this is good is because when you take that photo of that showing, of that open house, or of that local restaurant, Google tracks your location through your phone. So it boosts your relevancy in Atlanta. Okay. So things like that that I can't physically do for you, I'll teach you how to do it. Now, is this a necessity? No. But does it help the process and speed up the process a little bit? Yes. So these are things like that that I can't physically do for you. We'll teach you how to do those, and they help. And like I said, the first time you do it, it's kind of clunky, but after that, it's very simple. The next section is website tweaking. Now, this used to be what we called it, website tweaking, because most people are like, oh man, I spent $5,000 on a website. I don't want to get a new one. I get it. Spending money sucks, but it is part of the process. So we can help you tweak your website. Okay. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that Google pushed out a large algorithm update in the middle of last year that put a lot more emphasis on a good personalized branded website. Okay, so we are talking about that more. Basically, it needs to have the things that Google wants. These are some of those things. So if your website does not currently have communities pages or videos page or blogs, links in the footer, is it linked back to your Google business profile? These are things that it needs to have. Okay. So with everything that we do here, we build beautiful websites, which, if you start talking luxury presence or agent image, agent fire, all those websites, I'm not down talking them. Okay. They build beautiful websites. The problem is they don't have my side of the business in mind. Okay. Online presence is not important to them. So we build everything we do to make your online presence better. So we build it not only beautiful, but we build it in a way that Google's going to reward it. Okay. So things like domain authority, domain ranking, SEO, all of those come into a website. Again, not necessity, but I'm just telling you this is what Google's looking for. So you should probably look into it. Get past some testimonials. The last section is reviews, which I know is something we were talking about. Guys, reviews are always important. My clients probably get tired of me hearing it because I say reviews all the time. If you join my program, this is the one thing that I ask you to do. Okay. My program is 90 to 95% done for you. Okay. Reviews, you need to get them or you need to let me do it for you. Okay. One of those two options. If you sign up for my program and in 6 months you come in, this isn't working, and I look and you have no more reviews than you did the last time, where do you think I'm going with the conversation? Because of Jeff Bezos and Amazon, we have to have reviews. Okay. Now, if you partner with me and you ask me to do it for you, I have a workflow that we can put people in. We contact them several times over about a 2-month period. At any point, if somebody clicks on a link, it pulls them out of our workflow. Okay. The way our workflow works, it works really well. So there's an example of somebody that was pretty consistent, getting about 1 a month, partner with us and got 25 in 10 days. Okay. The reason we want to talk about reviews is part of Google's algorithm says it wants to see a review every 2 weeks. Okay. I don't like giving Google exactly what it wants. I go above and beyond. I tell everybody get one a week. Okay. Try to do it on a Monday. Okay. What a lot of people don't think about is character reviews. Okay. Past clients, great. Tony kind of alluded to it earlier, but character reviews are really good as well. Okay. I don't know how often you guys have this call, but currently there is 21 people on here that you can get a character review from. Okay. Now, when it comes to this, there are some caveats of what to do. A little trick of the trade. Okay. Don't do it with your don't do it with your business email. Do it with the personal email. Poke around a little bit. Don't just go in and just leave a review. Click for directions. Click on their website. Look around, then go in and do it. It's more likely to stick. Okay. So just a heads up on that. But when it comes to reviews like that, character reviews, whether it's people on this call, whether it's in my coaching program, whatever it is, some will, some won't. So what? Somebody's waiting. Okay. Get the next one. Okay. Try to be consistent with it. Get one a week and everybody's happy. When it comes to reviews, Google used to be whoever has the most reviews is king. That's how it used to be. Okay. It is not that anymore. Now they want consistency. They're like Facebook. They're like Instagram. They want people in their platform. Give them what they want. Leave reviews for other people. Be consistent. That's why we post so much. There is no amount of data that you can feed Google that's too much. Okay. So we want to make sure we're giving it data. We want to make sure we're in its platform. That's why we're doing it. So when it comes to reviews, our workflow, The way ours works is we do a mixture of emails and text messages. So our text message goes to Google. Our email gives them opportunities to copy and paste for Google, Facebook, Realtor, Zillow, and Yelp. Okay. The reason we hit those five is those five cover all the major search engines that are out there. Okay. Google pulls from Google. Bing is where pulls from Facebook. Yelp is like Yahoo, Siri, and Alexa. And then Realtor and Zillow is where things like ChatGPT are pulling from. So ChatGPT, I still think is like 3, 4, 5 years down the road, but it is gaining notoriety. So we want to make sure we're covering our basis there. And most people are used to leaving them at Realtor and Zillow anyway. So I do have a lot of people ask like, hey, I sold a person a house 20 years ago. Should I reach out to them? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay. Because worst case scenario, they ignore you. Okay. Other than that, I get these calls several times a year. People saying like, hey, I ended up selling another house because I was asking for a review. Because guess what? Maybe they're in the market again, or their kids, or their grandkids, or their neighbor. It puts your name in front of them again. It just gives you one more opportunity to pitch your business. So absolutely always look out for reviews. Let's see, get past these. So not only reviews are important, this is something a lot of people just don't even think about. Reply to those reviews. Okay. And part of that whole process, reply strategically. Okay. So these people are saying something. So, Rob left me a review. Okay. Nathan was great. He was professional, communicated well throughout the whole process, helped me sell my house above market. Okay. So my reply, I would tell you to do it strategically. Okay. Rob, thank you so much for your review. It was a pleasure helping you sell your house in Atlanta. I try to be professional and communicate well with all of my clients. I really do strive to be the best realtor in Atlanta. Okay. Now, in 3 sentences, I had about 7 keywords. So it's a great way to constantly get that SEO in there. So we teach you how to do that. We also give you the AI that'll do it for you. So you can copy and paste the review, put it in there. It'll generate a response for you that is riddled with SEO keywords. Do it in about 15 seconds. So we give you the opportunity to use that. If you use just ChatGPT in general, it doesn't give you the right keywords to use. So we customize ChatGPT to do it for you. So you have that opportunity. With our program, we do have 3 coaching calls a week to talk about things, go over our program. Plus, we also cover other topics, whether we're talking YouTube, websites, LSA ads, AI ads, all kinds of different marketing. We talk about those on our coaching calls. We do have a training zone on things that you guys can learn to do that I can't do for you. We also provide monthly reports for all of our clients. So if you're wanting to know what your stats are in real time, you can always find them. I do have an affiliate program. So really that's about as fast as I can go through everything and try to be as high level as possible. I don't know if you have time for me to answer questions. I did see some stuff coming out. I don't know if it involved me or not, but I'm happy to answer any questions, or if there's anything, Tony, that I didn't cover that you wanted me to talk about, I'm happy to talk about that as well.
Yeah, we'll talk here in just a second about when someone does not have a physical office, how Google handles that. But I also wanted to make sure that everybody knew that when a request goes out for a Google review, that request also includes reviews for Google, Bing, Yahoo, Alexa, Siri, Zillow, Realtor.com, and Facebook. So what happens is for instance, I sent Nathan 250 past clients and friends, and just name, email, phone number. And then I told them in the system, don't send out more than 5 requests a day. And if they haven't responded back to you in 2 weeks, don't ask for them anymore. And that's part of the way that I was able to jump up from 52 to 107 so fast. And then we use the AI to respond back so that it helps along those lines as well. Next, a couple other things that I didn't know was when you take a picture and you upload a photo to Google, never put your sign on that photo. So Nathan, you want to talk about some of these things like what if we don't have a physical address? I see that you can open up the text if you want to,
Yep.
but I see that in the text where there's been a couple questions. How do you handle that? And I can tell you how I did it, but give us some of those ideas that you've got out there, Nathan.
Very good. Yeah. And so I guess I should have caveated that when I talked about that. I only tell clients about that, Tony. So yes, if you are doing an update, never put contact information. Okay. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, blast your cell phone number everywhere. They love it. Okay. Google hates it. Google likes being able to track things. So you used to be able to get away with it if you were doing an update or a photo and it was like, the just sold and somebody's holding a key and your cell phone number is written on the key. You can't get away with it anymore. No contact information, no cell phone, no email, nothing. You have to use contact call to action buttons. So whenever you do it, there's always an option to put a call to action button. Do not put contact information. Okay. Google's going back and researching all these things. So like I had people that were doing it 3 years ago. They got their business suspended because Google saw it. Okay. So you used to be able to get away with it in a photo. I like flying under the radar. Okay. I like Google rewarding me, but not paying attention to me. So if you have a problem with that, it can be resolved, but just no contact information on that. When it comes to the EXP side of things, because everything's virtual, same thing with like Real and things like that, kind of depends on who you talk to. So, because EXP had a deal with Regis, I don't know if you guys still have a deal with Regis, but
Yep.
if you got a hold of the right person with Google, they understand. The problem is getting that right person. So if you're trying to show an address and you can go through the process, it can be done. It generally takes a little bit longer because you're going to have to get on with a live person, explain to them the situation. Okay. If you don't necessarily care, so like let's use an example here. So let's say Tony's my broker and he's in Atlanta. Okay. I technically have to show Tony's address, right? If I'm going to use his marketing. I'm in Texas, so having an Atlanta address would mean nothing to me. So at that point, using a service business would be better. Okay, so I'm not actually showing a physical address. I'm just saying that I service Fort Worth, Dallas, Arlington, whatever. It's a better option at that point. Now, when it comes to Regis, I could say that I'm using the Regis office in Fort Worth, but again, you're going to go through the process and it's going to fail. The idea is if you want to show that address, you got to hop on with a live person with Google. So the way that process usually works is you're going to do a video and it's going to fail. And then you have to fill out a form, which I help people do. Did you and I do it, Tony? Was that you and me that went through that? Or
Yeah,
did you
we
do it by
went through.
yourself?
Yeah, I did a video and kind of give you a little bit of a thing about the video. I have a home office, so I had 2 minutes to do this, is what Google told me. They said, make sure it's a continuous video. So I went out to the corner and I videoed the street sign that showed a corner. I then quickly ran to my mailbox and did a video with my mailbox number, quickly ran up to my car that had my EXP logo on the bumper as a tag, and then I quickly ran into the house and videoed all in one video my sign in my office. And I sent it to the guy, and he kind of laughed and he says, "Man, you were running like crazy." And I said, "Well, it's what you told me to do." And then in the end, they said, "You know what? You could just choose not to show your address, and you'll be okay." So I don't know. You might want to speak into that, Nathan, what they require.
Yeah. So again, it kind of depends on who you talk to, but like if you're just going through the traditional stuff, like it wants to see a street sign, it wants to see the signage on the building, it wants to see an address, it wants to see your placard on the wall or on the door or something like that. Generally, they want to see you unlocking a door, showing you have the right to be there. I mean, when you hop on with a live person, I've had people have to go out into the parking lot and start their car to show that it was a real deal. So like, it depends on who you talk to, but with the whole process, we want to give them what they want, and then there's three options. Google loves its business video, and it's an awful section. Okay, it's not good. So it works about 5% of the time. So they love it. It's awful. So there's three options when you're making the video. You can pass, it can fail, and it can go into like a middleman. Like we didn't get everything that we wanted. The two options you want is pass or fail. Because if it fails, we can request to hop on with a live person. If it goes in the middleman, you got to do the process again. So Tony could have been running around his street for half an hour doing that. fun to see, but annoying when it happens, right? So if it passes, great, we're done. If it fails, the next step to do would be to request to hop on with a live person. Generally, I'm the one that helps all of our clients go through that, but you can figure that out if you go through the help and support. Takes a while to get there, but I know how to do it in about 15 seconds because I've done it so many times now. But those are the two good options. When it comes to an address, it is better to show an address if you can. Okay, I will say that. So it's like I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm getting on the highway and I'm going to drive to Atlanta. Okay, that's one option. Get on the highway, drive. The other option is I get in, start driving through the neighborhoods, and then I drive down to the coast, and then I go up, and then I hit there, right? Two different options. One way I'm getting there a lot quicker than the other. Okay, so if you can show an address, you should show an address, just as a heads up. Trying to think if I missed anything in that answer, but like I said,
Do you have the option of just showing an area or a region without an address?
service business. Yeah. So
A
you could
service
say, so for you example, say you're not going to show an address, you can say, okay, I serve Atlanta, I serve Marietta, I serve East Cobb, and it kind of gives you a circle. Like if you look
Okay.
at Tony's profile, that's what Tony's does. It shows like a circle, right? So it'll say that I service that entire area. The reason I say it's not the best option is because Google's very localized, right? So when I search for a realtor near me here in Fort Worth, Texas, I get a different result than when you do it in Atlanta, right? So it's very localized. Now, if you do what they want, like what we do with our program, you can still be relevant without an address, as Tony is, right? So it's not an end all be all, but I'm just saying the process is generally a little quicker, but Tony took it. Tony's great, right? So like we said, hey, do these things. He's like, all right, I'm done. I'm going. And so like when you do those things that we ask you to, the few things that we ask you to do, the program works really, really well. But I'm just saying like as a whole, it's better to show an address than not. Okay. So Jonathan on here actually and said it right. Take your address off, use it as service area. That's right. Whether it's on your website or not, if you're trying to go service, doesn't really matter because you're not trying to show that address. It becomes a little difficult. Like if, say, Tony's website says Atlanta and his Google business is trying to go into Marietta, and then I know those like three areas. That's why I choose those two. But like that's when it becomes a little bit more convoluted because if they're checking your website, well, your address isn't Marietta, it's Atlanta, right? So like that's when it becomes a little bit more difficult. But if you're not trying to show an address, it's not that big a deal. But yeah, Tony put his website down there so you can kind of see what we do with our websites.
Yeah. So the other thing is these guys keep up with what's going on at the different search engines. Like I dropped from 95 to about 75 reviews overnight one time about 3 weeks ago. And I started getting worried that, maybe something terrible's happened. Maybe I'm paying for a service that's not going to work. And then I went on my coaching call and Nathan explained, hey, your reviews did not go away. What happened is Google, we're dealing with their, numbers. Can you speak into that, Nathan, on that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So if any of you guys noticed that about 3 weeks ago, your reviews probably dropped by 5, 10, 20, 100, whatever it was. And so naturally I get a lot of people reaching out to me, right? Like, hey, what's going on? And so we always research to figure out what's going on to make sure, hey, is there something we need to do? Is there something you need to do? But basically what it turned out was there was a glitch with Google. A lot of times they try to fix something and they break something and, naturally my phone rings off the hook. So it was basically a glitch with Google and the reviews didn't actually go away. They just didn't calculate the right number. And so within a couple of days it was fixed. But, we've got 5,000 people in our Facebook group. So we're putting information in there so people can find it. Our coaching calls 3 times a week. Where one of the owners is. Those are run by myself or one of the other owners. And so we always try to bring that information to everybody as quickly as we possibly can. It's funny because a lot of my clients, like I've never paid attention to their Google business profile until they hire me. And then all of a sudden they're looking at it every day, so, especially at the beginning when like they don't quite trust me yet, which is understandable. I get it. So naturally my phone rings when something like that happens, but there's a lot of times where there's glitches with Google that in 48 hours, had you not looked at it, you would never known it was there. But we always want to bring that to your attention to make sure that you guys are knowing everything that we know. And so anytime anything happens, we're always looking at Google. They change their algorithm about every 6 weeks. So things that are working right now aren't going to work in 2 months. So we got to change our program. And those are just things that we do for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, our situation is I don't have time for everything. I don't have time to come on the Grow Global call it all the time because we're out selling real estate, we're talking to agents. But the good thing about it is I don't have to keep up with all this because someone else is doing it for me. And and to tell you the truth, like the 10-day YouTube thing, I need to work on that a little bit more. But when I did the first one, it was amazing how easy it was because they provided the AI script for my YouTube video. And that was cool. So yeah, we've been real pleased with how this is going. Any other questions out there, Rob?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. One is I've heard of agents going in and trying to set it up themselves and then they end up getting flagged. So what are some of the things that they should do if to not get flagged, and what happens when they do get flagged? What do they need to do?
Hire me. So
Yeah.
um, the, the now are you, I guess I'll talk to both aspects of it.
Yeah.
So there's at creation, and then there's like, okay, I haven't done anything in 3 years to my profile. Okay, two separate things. One is already established, the other is brand new. Okay, so what we do is we always kind of do a stair step, right? That's why I don't, as soon as signing somebody up, I don't go in and start posting 10 times a day. Okay, Google's be like, what's going on? You haven't done anything in 6 months. Why are we got 10 posts? They're going to suspend the account or flag it or whatever. So one of the hardest things for me to do is to get you guys not to touch anything. Okay, that's the hardest thing. Is, we change our budget on LSA. Don't change it next week if you didn't get a call. Okay, you got to give Google time to digest. Like stuff that I do when you first sign up for my program, it takes Google 12 weeks to run through that data. Okay, so like one of the hardest things to do is to like kind of go easy at the first. Okay, so let's say we go through, we create it, we let it sit for a couple days after the verification, let Google digest it, then go in and do some optimization. Okay, then let's start posting once every other day, then let's start posting once a day, then we can start posting more and more and more. Same thing on the other side. Okay, we haven't touched anything in 6 months. Don't go out and get 50 reviews. Okay, go out and get one, and then next week go out and get one, go out the next week and get one or two. So like I have people tell me like, oh, I've got a list of 1,000 people. I can get 60 reviews by the end of the week. I'm like, don't, please don't. Because what happens is you're going to go out and you're going to get 60 reviews and then not getting any more. And you've wasted your time. So even like when Tony's situation is like, hey, I've got 250 people. Okay, great. I'll send out 5 a day. And the way that our workflow works is like today, Monday, I send out 5. Okay. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I send out 5. Wednesday, I send out 5, and then I follow up with the original 5. So now we got 10. Now it's kind of like stair stepping on top of each other. So I would say that's one of the harder things to do, which is one of the reasons we do it for you, is because getting you guys to stop touching things is hard, right? And it's just natural. They're doing that. I want to do this. I want to do this. If we're doing it, we got to do it right. Okay. But also, we don't want to bombard it with things when we haven't touched it for 6 months or a year or 10 years, however long it goes. Like, you can't just go in and bombard it with everything, because then Google, like I said, I like to fly under the radar and have them reward me. I don't want them looking at me, because if they're looking at me too close, they're going to find something wrong with it. Right. Oh, he's using Chat GPT and not Claude or whatever Google's thing is. Right. So, like, that's the main thing, is kind of like, let's start a little slow, get everything created, and then starting ramping up from there. Then by the time I'm posting 2, 3, 4 times a day, you're starting to add a few posts. We've got a few reviews coming in. Now everything starts to snowball and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and they reward you more and more because you're consistent with it.
So what happens if they do get flagged? What do they need to do?
So I guess it depends. So if you're just flagged and they're paying attention to you, just be careful with what you're doing. Okay. If you got flagged and it went further and they suspended your account, different scenario. Okay. So if somebody comes in and they get suspended, okay, if you're my client, I tell you not to touch it. to be honest, because what's going to happen is you're going to start going through the process and you're going to get to the page and you're going to hit go, not realizing you have 1 hour to complete the process. Otherwise, it submits it without your approval. Okay. So the whole process of getting unsuspended takes 5 minutes if you have the documentation that you need. Okay. So whenever a client reaches out, hey, I got suspended, I'm like, okay, don't touch anything. I need your real estate license. I need proof that you're there. I need some pictures. Okay. Now, part of the hard part for realtors that Google asks for, you don't have. Nobody has a utility bill from their brokerage because you don't pay utilities. So then they kind of freak out and then it just goes on. So I always give them information. We always have a real estate license. We can give them a picture of your business card. What I like to do, since we create that foundation, those 50 plus profiles, I take screenshots of those and give them their competition so they know that we have profiles other places. So I'd like to give them that information. Again, nothing with Google happens quickly. So what should take 5 minutes takes 3, 4, 5 days, maybe a week. So if it happens, you get suspended, don't freak out. Okay. It's a simple process once you know how to do it. Again, I'm the one that goes through it with all my clients, but doing it correctly, there's a couple caveats in there, giving them the right information, making sure you have it. Like I said, it takes 5 minutes once you have the documentation. People just start to freak out. I can't find my real estate license, right? And then it submits and then they don't have anything on there and then it's blank and then you got to do the process again. So if you get flagged, it's not the end of the world. We just got to kind of get low key for a little bit. The majority of the reasons why people are getting suspended is one, they're not active and Google's trying to get rid of inactive accounts, or two, they're doing something wrong, like posting contact information. If you get flagged for posting contact information, just go in, delete all those photos, delete those posts, file the suspension or the appeal, and generally it's a pretty quick process from there.
Does
Yeah,
anybody else have any questions?
I'll tell you one other thing that we did, Rob, was like I gave him the 250 names and he does 5 a day, and does this rotation. I send 250 names, I forget about it. Okay. Which is really, pretty cool to do. But every once in a while, someone will walk up to me at church or a business meeting or somewhere, and they were included in that 250, and they'll say, was that really you? Was that really you? Okay. Because it's being sent, from my, from, these guys, and it's not coming from my phone number when that request goes out most of the time. So they don't recognize it. So what I'll do from time to time is I send out a little Gmail video. Pam and I will be in the video. And all we say in the video, we just have some fun and we say, hey, if you're getting something that asks for a bunch of reviews for us, it's really us. It's really us. And then all of a sudden you see the reviews start popping back through again. We just kind of confirm with them that we really are doing this. And that works out great as well.
Hey, Tony, take me through what happens when you get an inbound call from a Google lead. What happens? What does it look like, and what do you do with it?
Well, a lot of this depends on where they're getting it from. For instance, like some people will go and they'll put Tony and Pam Williams in a Google search, and they're going to get my personal phone number. Okay. Or let's say that they're going through something that's in Google, and I've got a Google phone number in there because Google likes for you to use their phone numbers. I pay very little for it. But if it's a Google phone number, I will hear Google call in my ear. They don't hear it apparently. It'll say Google call, and then I'll say, hey, this is Tony Williams, eXp Realty. How can I help you? We start talking. And then, one of the things I always do is, hey, how'd you find us? And they'll go, hey, I found you on Google. That's where you are. That's the reason we want you to come out, because your reviews are so good. We're ready to list the house. I've had 3 calls during these 3 months where they actually said, come out here and list our house. It wasn't a thing of going out and doing my presentation or anything like that. I mean, we were in a house yesterday that needed all kind of work. And I just asked them, I said, why us? And they said, man, people speak so highly of you guys. And the other thing that I like about all this is everyone that I'm dealing with in this service is integrity. They're doing things the right way. And so, we always want to know where the call's coming from. And then we get out there as quick as we can. The best thing about this, it's not like some of these services and what I did is I shut down all these services, and I did this. Okay, I was paying $600-700 a month for all these other services, and I said cut them off, because every time I get a call from that service, I'm dealing with 9 other real estate agents that just called that person, and they're mad as a wet hen, And but when people call me through this, they're only talking to me. They're not talking to my competition at all. That's the cool thing, Rob.
I like that. Very nice.
Yes.
So, hey guys, if y'all want to follow up with Tony about more information about this topic, you can, in the chat, you can actually go down to the bottom. There's 3 little dots. Click on the little dots and you can copy the chat onto your desktop. So later on, you can go back and click on Tony's link and learn more about what he's doing. You can either do this yourself or you can get help. Either way, we want you to go get your Google profiles up, because it's the way everything is going in the future. So, hey, thanks guys for coming out on today's Money Master. Thank you, Tony, and thank you guys for bringing this information.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan. And we will see you guys next Monday on our Money Mastermind at 12 noon Eastern time. Thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.